How am I going to be in God's will? How do I know God's will? Like 5 years from now, how can I be in the middle of God's will? 10 years from now, if you are in God's will today, and if every day you just seek to do the will of God, I promise you 5 years from now, you're going to be right in the middle of God's will. A lot of times people ask me as a pastor, they'll say, Pastor, like, how do I know? Am I supposed to go do this? Am I supposed to go do that? Obviously you pray, you fast, and God will show you. But a lot of times I think we worry too much about the future. Like, what are we going to do in a year or in 5 years or in this and that? When most of the people I see in the Bible, they were just walking with God and they had a relationship with him on a regular basis. Abraham was a friend of God and he went out into a place he didn't know where he was supposed to even go. Abraham's servant, when he found a wife for Isaac, he said, I being in the way, the Lord led me. David was a shepherd. He was out in the field just worshiping the Lord. He was a man after God's own heart. And when Goliath came, he was ready. Go down the list. Joseph. Dude, Joseph was a dreamer of dreams. And he was sold into Egypt. And he could have slept with Potiphar's wife. But he said, yeah, but God would know. Joseph didn't see in that dream that he was going to be the ruler of Egypt, but Joseph was a man of integrity and he had a daily relationship with God. I'm telling you, it's not about looking ahead 5 years and having this plan. It's about walking with God every single day. And then you'll be in the will of God. It's letting the Holy Spirit work on you on a daily basis, being a friend of God. I think about Romans 12, verses 1 and 2. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you would present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. And it says not to be conformed to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and perfect and acceptable will of God. Listen to me. It's not finding the will of God. It's not about God telling you a 10-year plan. It's about walking with him every single day. And when you are being transformed, you will be ready for when that day comes. That's why Jesus gave the parable of the virgins. He said, look, I'm going to come back and you don't know when. So have oil in your lamp. If I told you that your entire eternity depended on you being ready whenever I showed up, I guarantee you more than anything, you would be ready every single moment for someone to show up. And that is what God says. He says, have oil in your lamp. Be prepared. The Son of God, the kingdom of heaven, is like a man that lent out his vineyard to husbandmen. And he said he would come back at an appointed time. And he said if they would have known, they would have been ready. Listen to me. If you want to be in God's will in 10 years, you be in God's will right now today.